What's up everyone and welcome back to the MMA Zone. Today, let's get started with Charles Oliveira making a statement by choking out Justin Gaethje in the first round. Charles Oliveira was so incensed over the whole weigh-in debacle that he made an example of Justin Gaethje and put him right to sleep with a rear naked choke in the first round. Oliveira did not fight safe at all. He was right in the pocket the whole time, trading strong punches with Gaethje, going blow for blow with the highlight reel, and he actually got sent to the canvas a few times. He weathered an early storm and the powerful punches from Gaethje and came back to make a statement by knocking down Gaethje and then choking him out. But after missing weight by half a pound just a day before the fight, Oliveira was stripped of the lightweight title. Now that he's won, he's now the #1 contender for the lightweight title. Since that news hit, Oliveira has been adamant that he doesn't know what happened and continued to tell everyone, the champion has a name. It's Charles Oliveira. The win is spectacular, especially when you consider that earlier this week, Gaethje was asked to compare Oliveira and Khabib, to which Gaethje stated that there's no comparison, giving the nod to Khabib and saying he was better. Now, days later, Oliveira has submitted Gaethje in a quicker amount of time than Khabib did in their fight back in October 2020. After the fight, Oliveira got a chance to say who he wanted to fight for the title next, and while he stated he didn't care, he also did say Conor McGregor's name. Check out what Conor McGregor stated in response to Oliveira. "I'm not sure I wish to cut the weight. I am really enjoying being built like a refrigerator. I feel I want to fight at this size just to watch it back, lol. But I'd love to fight the Brazilian, 100%. I love Brazil, and I'm unbeaten against Brazil. All knockouts. I have some thinking to do." To which Casey O'Neill, another UFC fighter, responded to Conor with this: "Well, don't worry about too much about making 155. He can't make it either." Conor responded to Casey, "Excellent." Then, Conor responded to Ali Abdelaziz's tweet telling Conor to shut up. Head like a quail egg. The lightweight title shot picture is now a bit muddied after Oliveira was stripped. Previously, it was thought that the winner of this fight would fight the winner of Beneil Dariush versus Islam Makhachev, which was slated for later this year. It's unclear if this is still the case, especially with the prospect of Conor McGregor coming back to the octagon this year. What do you think? Do you feel Oliveira will fight Conor or the winner of the Dariush-Makhachev fight? And what do you think is next for Gaethje? Michael Chandler calls out Conor McGregor after knocking out Tony Ferguson. Just 17 seconds into the second round of their UFC 274 clash, Michael Chandler delivered a teep to the face of Tony Ferguson that slept El Cucuy, forcing him face first onto the canvas. The spectacular knockout landed flush on Ferguson's chin and was the first time ever El Cucuy lost via knockout, especially in this fashion. The win was massive for Chandler, who now has signature victories over Dan Hooker and Ferguson in the UFC, two former top 5 contenders in the UFC's lightweight division. And it's especially impressive given that the last time he fought was against Justin Gaethje last November as they went the distance in the 2021 Fight of the Year. There's little doubt that Chandler brings the excitement, and in this way, Chandler had a special person he wanted to call out during his post-fight speech, Conor McGregor. Chandler delivered a passionate and emphatic call-out of McGregor, saying that the two are a great matchup and that fans love to watch both of them fight. Take a gander at this.
"I got one dude on my mind, Conor McGregor! You gotta come back and fight somebody! I am the most entertaining lightweight on the planet, but I want to up the stakes, Conor. I want you at your biggest, I want you at your baddest, and I want you at your best. You and me at 170 this summer, this fall, this winter. Holler at your boy. God bless. I'll see you at the top."
This isn't the first time Chandler has brought up McGregor's name in looking for a potential fight. As he did state previously, he believes he could be a great foil for the Irishman. McGregor is set to return to the octagon later this year after taking nearly a year off from a broken leg injury. McGregor has been calling for a title shot upon his return, especially in the welterweight division. For his part, Chandler did call for this fight to take place at 170 pounds. This is how Conor responded to Chandler via Twitter. "I'd have a nice knock off this guy, no doubt about it. A fireworks spectacle. I like the 170 shot also. Tipped him over. I'm definitely game to fight this guy at some stage in my career. I see it happening after tonight. Congrats on another win, Michael, and another barnstormer." Then, Conor posted a photo of Chandler's kick to the face of Ferguson with a caption that read, "Damn, bro." Then Conor referenced Tony Ferguson. Tony had some great nuggets in the media buildup. Then he got punt kicked to the chin and got turned into a nugget himself. That's crazy. If you pull that out of a McDonald's bag, you dip it in sauce and eat without a moment's thought. No doubt, that would pass as a legit McDonald's chicken nugget. That's crazy. What do you think about Chandler's big win over Ferguson? And do you want to see Chandler versus McGregor? Who do you think is the early favorite for that fight, assuming Conor comes back 100% healthy? Paulo Costa, Luke Rockhold set for UFC 277 clash. It looks like former middleweight champion Luke Rockhold will finally get his wish granted and get his hands on former title challenger Paulo Costa. According to ESPN, they say the fight is set for UFC 277 on July 30th. That fight, which Rockhold had been calling for several months, will be a comeback for him, as he hasn't fought since July 2019, when he was knocked out by Jan Blachowicz in his debut in the light heavyweight division. After that fight, Blachowicz went on to become the UFC light heavyweight champion, while Rockhold took a good amount of time away from the cage. But even before that, Rockhold had lost 2 of his last 3 fights, including knockout losses to Yoel Romero and Michael Bisping. His only win since 2016 came against David Branch in 2017 via TKO in the second round. At the same time, Costa will be looking to get things back on track after losing 2 straight, including a knockout loss to Israel Adesanya for the middleweight title, and a unanimous decision loss to Marvin Vettori last October. In that fight, Costa had missed weight and refused to take any responsibility for it, with his clash against Vettori taking place at 205 pounds. At the moment, the UFC 277 card includes Magomed Ankalaev against Anthony Lionheart-Smith and Derek Lewis against Sergey Pavlovich. But what do you think about this Rockhold-Costa fight? And who do you think will walk away with their hand raised after this one?
Finally, Randy Brown said the fighters weren't allowed to walk out with flags. Is that something that's going to move forward?
Yeah.
Any specific reasons or just no flag?
You know why. You guys know why.
Hey, Dana.
Let's not even play that fucking
Dana, I
game.
think
Don't forget to take a second to hit that like button and subscribe to the MMA Zone to stay up to date with all the latest fight news. Carla Esparza ekes out a victory over Rose Namajunas in the snoozefest. Carla Esparza is your new UFC Women's Strawweight Champion, winning the title for the second time in her career. The win caps an incredible run for Esparza, who has extended her winning streak to 6 straight bouts that began all the way in 2019 and now includes a second victory over Thug Rose. This match was a rematch of the 2014 clash in which Esparza beat Namajunas via submission in the 3rd round for the inaugural Strawweight Championship. But everyone, from fans to commentators themselves, were perplexed as to the fight itself and how much of a stinker it really was. Both fighters were timid in their offense, rarely going in for meaningful exchanges and playing it safe for the whole 25 minutes. Even Joe Rogan and Daniel Cormier questioned what they were watching and how the judges would even be scoring this fight, given how little there was to judge in the first place. At the same time, this marks Thug Rose's first loss since 2019, when she was dumped on her head by Jessica Andrade, losing her strawweight title. But looking ahead, it's unclear what's next for Thug Rose, as this makes 2 straight losses to Esparza. With number 2 ranked strawweight Zhang Weili set to face Joanna Jędrzejczyk next month at UFC 275 in Singapore, that leaves number 3 Marina Rodriguez, who is on a 4-fight winning streak, including a split decision win over Yang Xiaonan in March and a unanimous decision victory over number 4 ranked Mackenzie Dern late last year. Could Rodriguez take on Esparza next? And should Thug Rose get a rematch against Esparza for the title? Do you even want to see a rematch of this fight? And do you think next month's Zhang Weili-Joanna fight will actually be a title shot eliminator to see who faces Esparza next? Illness forces Cowboy Cerrone to withdraw from UFC 274 bout. Just hours before his scheduled fight against Joe Lozon at UFC 274, Donald Cerrone was forced to withdraw from the fight after he suffered an illness. The UFC didn't scratch this fight until the early prelims finally kicked off, as Joe Rogan, the color commentator for the UFC 274 event, stated that Cerrone had food poisoning and was not going to be making the walk down to the octagon at UFC 274. Rogan stated during the broadcast, "They think what might have happened is Donald ate something bad because he was throwing up. He couldn't keep food down. He felt terrible. They tried to give him time to recover, but I talked to Dr. Davidson and it was just not going to happen." This was said to be Cerrone's first fight in a year after having lost to Alex Morono by a TKO in May of last year. The 39-year-old has also lost 5 of his last 6 fights. It's unclear if the UFC is going to reschedule this fight in the future. What are your thoughts on Cerrone's withdrawal from UFC 274? And do you think this fight is eventually going to get rebooked? Today's video was packed with some juicy stories from the fight world. What are your thoughts about what's going on in MMA? Don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe to the MMA Zone to see more videos just like this. See you next time.